Hello. What's going on, peoples? This is Dante from the Why Date Podcast. We thank you for tuning in. This is season 4, episode 19, almost going on 20. I don't even know when I'm going to end this season. I'm just going to keep going. This whole pandemic, just keep on going. And we have a guest on here who is very opinionated of the comments in our last one. So we put her on. So, yes. So, Leland, you're on here. You win. So, you can give a little intro about yourself, but, tell us a little bit more about you. Because you're our guest on here for our episode. So, the topic is sex. So, you felt very strongly about it. you disagreed with Markel a few times. Well, a lot of times. So, what's your take on it? Like, what? We'll start with you first, and then Markel could kind of say his piece.
Thank you so much, Dante. Because I was gonna go to sleep, but you're like, "Hey, you want to be on?" I was like, "Yeah, I caused enough havoc in the last episodes to not be on." So this is my thing, right? So okay, ladies, we go through childbirth. We go crazy once a month. We bleed out of our wherever's. And, we don't get paid as much and all get raped and get killed and all that stuff. The least we can do is hold the pussy hostage so that we can get the house, we can get the car. Because otherwise, what are you dating for? Like, I'm Chinese and I look at Americans and you guys, date for 10 years before you get married and the guy doesn't even want to be with you. He just marries you out of guilt. Like, why? So that's my take.
I love it.
Tell us the background.
The background about what? Like, am I single? Is this still a question?
No, well, he asked that. You can tell us that. Wondering. I mean, if you want. I'm not. That wasn't my question. You can say it.
Oh, what's my question? Like,
background.
Like, what's my view on sex? Yeah. Like, have sex if you're gonna get something out of it from the man. Like, if he's gonna give you, if he wants to have sex with you, you have to name the price, okay? Don't have sex for free. You can if you want, but you're not going to get anything out of it. So maybe your price is a 1-carat ring. Maybe your price is your deed on the house. Maybe your price is a Tesla. I can't tell you what price you want because that's your decision. But ladies, are you getting anything out of sex? If you're not getting anything out of sex besides wet bed sheets, why are you having it? That's my point.
So in a way, sex is more like transactional for you than like spiritual, yes. Would you say?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
That makes sense.
Interesting.
So what's your price?
Basically have to get married to me and I demand a 5-carat canary princess cut ring on an after cut setting. And
very specific.
Basically. Yeah, because like what else are you dating for? Like you're gonna have to get a man who can support your children. I'm not going to fucking work after marriage, so he's going to have to support me and my spending habits. So this is just the entry price, right? He's going to have to pay for me every single month because I'm expensive.
What are you offering him?
I love it.
Yeah, what are you bringing?
Myself, dude. Like,
That's not enough. That's not enough.
No.
Must be more than
you're not in
you said, hold on a second.
From what you guys were saying, you guys were already disqualified yourselves. So.
So you said, hold on. So the one upside, I can see
what's happening.
Leland is a comedian.
Then before we start,
and I think humor is severely underrated in women. And if you could find yourself a funny girl, that'll take you really far. I'm dead ass with that. I think if you find a girl who's funny, that's a really big thing because I think a lot of girls honestly aren't really incredibly hilarious. But it's like, okay, so I have to get this super specific 5-carat canary ring and all this other extra shit. It's like, okay, so she's 5 foot, she can barely reach the top shelf, so we're doing all that anyway. And then, okay, she's gonna make me laugh occasionally, but I gotta shell out for everything. I'm sorry, she just proved my point of my 3-date rule. She just proved it right here. If a man is a man, if you're willing to shell out the 5-carat ring and the marriage and the kids, the Tesla and all that, Leland is your girl, and you should look no further. But if you're not looking to show up some 5-carat canary colored whatever, what the fuck ever, it's like, all right, Leland is not your girl, and you let her go. Don't waste your time. Don't waste her time.
Yeah, of course.
She knows what she's looking for.
I don't need
She knows what she's looking for, and you know what you're looking for. So if you're dating a girl and she's not about to give it up, and it's been 3 or 4 dates, cut your losses and let it go.
Yeah, we want real fathers and real husbands. We don't need pumping.
Waiting an entire year. Okay, you want real fathers and real husbands. These girls who are hooking up with guys are not looking for that same thing.
Then they can have sex with whoever, and they can get an STD and get pregnant with a child that they have to take care of for 18 years. That's their choice.
Have you ever had sex before marriage? Have you ever had sex with a guy where you didn't plan on
I married the guy that I had sex with, so I guess, yeah, I did. I regret it. I could have sold my virginity for $2 million. Instead, I fucking wasted it on a dude for nothing. That was dumb. Boom. Man, now it's not fun. See, it's not fun anymore. I'm just more fun as a troll. But all right. Okay, what else you got? Other questions.
I got anything else? I think you just proved all my points.
Yeah, I don't want to marry. So why would anyone marry somebody like you? Like, you have nothing to offer to a woman who wants a real family. So why do I care what you think of me?
So if I don't want a real family, I'm not gonna string her along like I want a real family.
Yeah, then cut her off.
You aren't ready for a real family. You're arguing past yes. We already agree. Like, we already agree on the same
we don't want to date you. I don't want to date you, and I don't see why other women want to date you. Yeah, I'm not going to make you.
Other women who aren't interested in having kids right now, right? Women who don't want a husband right now, maybe they're starting a business. Maybe they're launching their career as a comedian, and they just can't be tied down right now because they're touring all over the state, all over the country.
Yeah,
they would sleep with a guy like me.
With them. Do it. Hook up with all the women who are like that. I don't give a shit.
Do you always argue past yes? Like, is this your thing?
I mean, if you want to be right, that's fine. But your kids might be on welfare. My kids are going to go to private school. I mean, that's just the world.
That was one of her comments earlier.
Shots fired! And she sipped the tea. Oh, fuck!
It's just hilarious because, like, she's saying literally the same exact thing I'm saying from a different perspective. So it's like she's continuing to say things, but it's like, we agree. Don't waste someone's time. Right? She would never fuck a guy if she wasn't planning to marry that. Is that yes or no? You wouldn't fuck a guy if you weren't getting some out of it, if you weren't going to marry him, if the exchange wasn't mutual.
But she's going beyond that. She's saying, like, remember we had that episode about hypergamy and how, like, women date up?
Right.
She's saying, like, even as a woman, you're not doing hypergamy right if you're just fucking dudes to just fuck dudes. You need to gain something from it.
So true.
I think that's it goes beyond just, like, choosing whoever you want to fuck in the moment. Even if you want to fuck some guy, he has to come with, like, some fucking weight with him.
Do you watch Sierra 7? Do you watch Sierra 7, girl? Do you watch it?
No, I don't.
Okay, you should, because she's all about that hypergamous bag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, if you want a woman who's feminine, you want a woman who's not going to be with lots of dudes, you want someone who's conservative, she's saying that comes with an exchange. And I think we agreed with that. Like, we wouldn't want women to settle for guys who are scrubs.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So all I can say is I'm not going to say whether I am or I'm not a scrub, right?
I don't want no scrub.
In the what?
So I don't want no scrub.
I don't want no scrub. No. But the whole thing is like this. It's like, I think romantically, when you look at long term, right? Being able to provide some sense of security, being able to provide some sense of status, that's incredibly important, right? And then you have Zahavian signaling. Are you giving gifts or not? AKA the canary ring. It's all very important. I'm not looking for any of that currently, right? And any girl that I've been involved with in the past few years, minus my ex, right? We were very serious and monogamous. Was like, we weren't looking for that either, right? Mm-hmm. And so, kind of like she just said, well, if you want to go fuck somebody who wants to just fuck, go fuck. That's exactly what I'm saying.
The only,
I mean, obviously, here's the thing. Whether I'm high value or not high value, the women I am currently with think I'm high value or not. That's it.
And that's what matters.
That's what matters. That's what really matters. Whether I'm a 1 or a 10, the women I'm with, I fit whatever their current standards of hypergamy
are. Okay.
So some comments said women settle when feelings get involved. Remember, she's looking for a long-term, possible permanent life partner. He's talking more about just current or maybe a couple years type of relationship.
Yeah.
Someone said, I think that's why it's funny, because it's same coin, different side.
Right. It's called arguing past yes. That's when you both have the same point, but nobody wants to be like, oh, okay.
Okay, you win, Markel. You got me. Ah.
You know what? That's all I ever wanted to hear. You are the best. So much for being on. That's all I ever wanted to hear.
Awesome.
You have made my year. This one comment right here has made all of quarantine work.
Well, I'll start asking some questions because
Yeah,
I think it's time for me to ask some questions here. Since that was the point of this episode. This question,
Past overdue, man.
Yeah, we're long overdue for the questions on here. All right, so I'll start it off with, because the question we never got to ask: does society degrade sex? Why do you think it's more or less? Not a big deal. That's what it is.
I think it's just a clash of liberal and conservative ideals. Somebody thinks one thing and some other body thinks some other thing, and they're both in charge and have some highfalutin office, and so their voice gets heard.
I think sex in general, most people understand that it's very powerful, whether you're conservative and you think it should only be shared with your partner, or whether you're a sex worker. You understand that sex has power in society. Now, in terms of degrading, yeah, I do think we degrade sex in society. I think we, like Mondre mentioned, that we use it as like a commodity, and it cheapens it, and we don't really appreciate like the whole entire experience of sex.
Yeah, it's like an objectification. It's like being objectified, basically.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I think sex is like a creative energy. And when it's used appropriately, it can be really powerful for the person or the people engaging in it. So.
All right, Leland, what you got? What you got on that?
What you got?
Be quiet. You don't need to be quiet. You can go on and you can.
I don't want to be rude, and because you had a really good point. I just feel like if you can afford to have the consequences of sex, which is supposed to be children, I mean, even if you wear a condom or don't want to have kids, you want to be responsible for it, right? So like a hit it and quit it dude, he has a right to do that, but it's kind of the woman's fault for not vetting him, right? So I'm just saying you can do whatever you want, but you have to be able to handle the consequences. So if he puts a baby in you accidentally, you're stuck for 18 years, possibly longer, without his help. Single parent families are not. I'm from a single parent family, so that's why I went way the other way, and I was married before. So I just think it's up to ladies. It's kind of up to us, because we're the ones, guarding the pussy, right? So, we gotta, hey, this guy's a pump and dump dude. Oh, this guy, if I have sex with him, I'm going to have a better life after sex with him, right? So a lot of women get involved with guys just temporary because they're lonely. They want some validation. They feel like, oh, I feel ugly today. Let me get a dude to make me feel pretty. And then, so you talk, oh shit, I'm naked. Oh shit, like this is not good. Things are happening too fast. So instead of like basing your value on what a guy thinks of you, you should cultivate your own standards, because it's a woman who validates a guy. You guys go out and hunt the freaking woolly mammoth, and we pat your head and say, hey, good job, and then you guys get you some sex. So I feel like sex is
to the right
however you want it to be, but just make sure as a lady, you're the one who has to deal with the STDs, you're the one who has to deal with the baby, so you better be good at vetting. And if you don't want to, that's fine, but you're going to have to be a single mom. And as a daughter of a single mom, it's not fun. So that's all I have to say about that. I totally killed Joy, but that's what I think.
So just a quick piggyback on that. I mean, Leland is like totally right. So I'm a single father, right? So I have a little 4-year-old son. In between the episodes, I went and put him to bed and stuff like that. And I think I always tell my guy friends, like, you can't trust a woman if she says she's on the pill, if she has the new liver ring, if she's the arm insert, whatever. Like, it shouldn't be up to her. You should be wrapping your shit every time. They should be your condoms and your possession, and you should be wrapping your meat every time you're about to beat, right? Like, wrap it before you tap it is a real fucking thing. Because just like she's gonna have to worry about all these crazy STDs and carrying the baby, and I've seen that. I went to every single doctor's appointment. I wouldn't wish pregnancy on anybody. Like, when women are like, oh, I can't wait to have kids, I'm just like, adopt. I've seen that shit, right? Like, I was there with the last minute C-section. It was like The Walking Dead. It was just like, it was everywhere. It's gross, right? I wouldn't wish pregnancy on anybody. But it's like, as men, you better wrap your shit, because just like she's gonna have to do the rest of her life, you're gonna be attached to her the rest of your life. This little dumpster chick you found at a club that you decided to pump your little kids in, and she's pregnant, someone you don't know and probably don't even like all that much, you're gonna be attached to her the rest of your life. And not only that, she doesn't have to work, she's gonna treat you like a paycheck. So you better wrap your shit just to make sure you don't end up in a situation where you're shelling out of child support because she decides to take your kid and you can't fight court because you're broke, right? Like protection is super important for men as well. And it's not fair to the kid to have one single parent, right? Or it's not fair to the kid because you're trying to be a good dad and the mom's like, drama and blah, blah, blah. I'm lucky enough to be in a very cohesive, genial, co-parenting situation. I got so many homies who are just not in that position. So just to compound on what she was saying, it's like, yeah, you got to free tap it, because being a single mom is hard, but being a dad who can't see their kids and you got to shell out, that's even harder.
Well, it's two sides of the same coin. I mean, it takes two people to have the kid. So both of them are going to suffer.
So I got some comments here. Someone said my oldest daughter's dad told me he had a condom on and I was on birth control and he didn't wear it. I was 21 and pregnant. I just started my career. So after he died, I was completely by myself.
Damn.
So that's real shit, man. Make sure you guys wrap your meat.
Even in relationships where you're committed, like, it's important to, when you want to have a child, be ready.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's a little bit of a downer of the
Yeah.
I mean, you can see it as a downer, or you can see it as like a valuable lesson.
Yeah, it's a valuable lesson.
Sponsor plug.
I mean, I was thinking about it like, damn, this is
This is sad.
It's like, damn, I'm like, shit. Great. I think the question was about degrading sex, man. Y'all birth control.
Well, message.
Like, I feel like, when the Reading Rainbow, the more you know, knowing's half the battle.
That's G.I. Joe, bro. That's G.I. Joe.
No, I mean, like, G.I. Yeah, I know both. I said both. I said whatever, man. You know what I meant.
It's the more you know, fool.
The more you know. Yes. All right, another question I'll ask. And let's see. None of you guys said the buzzwords, man. What's going on?
Nobody answer those questions.
All right. Oh man, this is interesting. You guys have some interesting questions on here. How does porn influence your sex life?
I don't think it does. No, I don't know. It could probably help a guy last longer if he's like fapping it all the time, I guess. But mentally wise, I mean, there's so much literature on how it kind of like affects the guy's brain, the way he sees women, how he perceives sex, kind of throws it off. So I don't really see. I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't really see a actual. Yeah, I don't think you have to raise your hand.
Oh, sorry. Have you ever, when you were younger or whatever age you started looking at porn, did it ever affect your self-esteem? Like, oh, like these dudes in porn or these women behave like this, so yeah, like I measure myself up to them sexually. And did it make you feel less of a man if you didn't?
No, I think what it does for the most part is it gives you this notion that it's easier to have sex with women and they will be easier to do most of the things that they do on porn. Like you start to get that, you think, and then you have this, like most of the time, you gotta be honest, most of the time they're 9s and 10s in porn. They're gorgeous women. And you're telling your mind over and over, your mind really doesn't know the difference that you're having sex. These things you're kind of having sex with these beautiful women. So you're telling yourself subconsciously, I can go out there and I can have sex with women just like this all the time. It's not reality, obviously, but this is what the literature is showing. And so a lot of guys are going out there and, they're looking for really fine girls. They're telling them whatever the fuck they want to say. And sometimes they're scoring, they're fucking shit out these girls and they bounce. And then, you know, we have this whole culture. So
I think porn is really ruined, like part of degrading sex. I think it's ruined like how sex actually is. It's messy sometimes. It's not always perfect. Sometimes like you're not in the mood. Sometimes like guys lose erections. Like it's not like so picture perfect. Like I don't know.
You have to appreciate it too, because like what I read is like there's a silver lining. Like it does keep a lot of perverts and a lot of sex offenders at bay. That's serious shit. If you took that away, the amount of rapes and sex offense and all that shit would rise like crazy. So it's like it has a little part that helps out a little bit.
I think people sexually act out because we live in a culture where it's super repressed. I think like think of an island where like there's no porn, right? And everyone on that island walks around naked and no one really thinks boobs are a big deal or seeing a dick is a big deal. Do you think in that society they're just raping each other? They're just like
that's indigenous people.
No, it would be consensual.
So what does that do to like nuclear families? Hold on.
Well, wait, porn isn't like this like mediator in society. I think it's the way society is structured.
Well, it's a tool. It's a part of the tool. Like you're talking about indigenous people who are not surrounded by sex all the time. You think about society, sex sells. It's every fucking where. It's in cartoons.
Yeah.
So it's like it's feeding into our minds, our subconscious all the time. Okay. So then, yeah, if you do that, if you did that with those indigenous people, and you took out porn only, but then you put in the sex in food, you put in the sex in television, yeah, they start looking at the bodies differently. And then as soon, you know, guys will start having instincts and, you know, cravings. And if they don't get what they want in that type of society or the indigenous society, then yeah, they'll probably start raping or taking what they want. Just like if you have a lawless town or a lawless, society or something like that, the men are gonna do whatever the fuck they want. You know, they're the most dominant as far as strength goes. So they're gonna do what they want in this lawless type little town or whatever. But, you know, you create a civilization, you create society, you create laws that keeps, you know, the assholes and, you know, the rapers at bay at most part. But
and porn is fine as long as you can separate the fantasy from reality. You know, because what porn is you're watching other people have sex and you're getting aroused from that. So that's like what the difference is. I mean, if you like take porn and then you think like, oh, like this is like what my boyfriend likes. This is what my boyfriend like watches on porn. Like this is what he must like in real life. But in reality, like he might not even like want that, you know? Like this is just like something he just likes to watch.
Yeah.
But not experience. It's different.
Yeah.
Or it could be just a fetish that he's embarrassed about. And so he does it, you know, in secret or some shit.
Yeah, but he doesn't like expect you to do these things that he's watching on porn.
I think yes, you're right. And I think earlier Markel mentioned this kind of dichotomy in society where like you're super liberal and you're this big sexual fantasy like in porn, but in reality you just want you want a human being that you can connect with. Like you don't want that ridiculous
like all these like crazy like positions, like, you know, it's like, you know, it's crazy, but like in reality like you probably can't come from that, you know. Yeah, like legs like everywhere, you know, upside down and whatnot.
Well, that's
all
just
those like crazy positions.
It doesn't have to be all the fucking
like they're just
time.
acting.
Yeah, that's to be, you know, yeah.
What do you think, Leland? What do you think about pornography?
I was trying to think about this because this is how nerdy I am. Like, because porn is not just videos; it's also like 50 kind of Shades of Grey kind of books and stuff. So I was like, because like I didn't lose my virginity until I was like 23, and I haven't had sex for 3 years, and I feel like I'm okay with it. I mean, it'll just always be there. I mean, I grew up in like an Asian society where sex is even more repressed than here. So I'm trying to like compare everyone's standards here to over there, because over there advertising doesn't have as much sex as we do here. Now it's a little bit different, you know, everyone's all westernized now. But I just feel like, well, if it gets you off, great. Maybe I just don't have as much of a sex drive. But yeah, if it keeps, like you guys say, the murderers and the rapists and all the crazy people at bay, then
you just said a buzzword.
Oh fuck. Okay, ask me questions.
Oh.
Right. Ask me questions. What questions do you guys have? I'm moving at this.
I heard it.
Oh, the trap.
Like,
Hey, what you guys got for me?
So what
He's
was
a gold
the?
digger.
So you mentioned that you read erotica, right?
Yeah.
What was the last piece of erotica you read, and what was the premise of it?
It was like people at the gym or something. I was just doing a Google search. I probably should bookmark it, but I was just like, oh, whatever helps me fall asleep. All right. I'm not very exciting. Sorry. I'm just.
Brush that one out of the rug. No
Excitement
worries.
comes during conflict and fights. Sorry, what? Did I answer your question? Sorry, I'm so boring.
Oh, no worries. I don't really believe you're that boring.
I don't know, because I run a business. I don't have time to do all this shit. Like, how are you guys having sex all the time? Like, what are you guys doing? You know, like, you guys just can take time off and just hunt for pussy like this?
Well, I don't think anybody's having sex at the moment.
I don't know about that, but
yeah, nobody's having sex at the moment, you know. Quarantine and all. But I have a question.
Yeah, even when I was married, we didn't even have sex more than like twice a week. Like that's, I mean, I don't know if that's normal or not, but that's just what happened. I mean,
damn.
All right.
Is that good or bad? Like you guys are very
Well,
silent.
hold on. I think twice a week is like the national average, though.
Yeah, that's normal. That's
not
normal.
for
Twice a
married
week
couples.
is
That's
all
not
right.
bad at all.
Yeah.
How often did you guys sleep naked?
We didn't. I don't remember. It's been so long. It's just like I don't even know what things look like down there anymore. Yeah. I mean,
Alpha Mike had a question.
What?
Did you had a question, Mondre?
I was gonna ask, would you ever date another comedian?
No, unless they were like a surgeon. Because I did go out with somebody who's a surgeon who also did stand-up comedy for fun. And then we went to Nobu out for our first date, so that was cool. He didn't call me back, so I stole a joke. So, but probably not unless it was just like a hobby.
Right on.
I'm gonna ask a question. They said when.
Do you think it's like risky because they run the risk of you talking about them like during one of your sets or something, like making fun of them?
I mean, I don't care about that. Like, I think it's just stand-up comedians are fucked up people, and I know because I am one. So one person has to be crazy, one person has to be stable.
Yeah.
I'm not about to be the stable one, so he better be stable somehow. Like, he can have an appreciation for comedy, and then he can do it on the side or whatever. But full time, that's not a family dude's job, you know, because you got to hit the road. You got to, you know, just go to these seedy bars and you stay up till 3 a.m. Like, I felt like I was not living a healthy lifestyle, let alone like, you know, somebody who has to raise a family and have kids and do all that stuff. So probably not. But if he enjoys it as a hobby, great. But I don't see somebody who's fully committed to that sort of lifestyle be able to do everything really well, you know, like something has to give. So I'd rather, like, you know, he be stable and then just do it for fun rather than just full-time, because the full-time people are fucked up people too, you know. So I just, when there's so many other choices in the world, why would I just settle for that, you know? That's what my thought is.
Word. So someone asked a question, I guess I think it was about the naked situation. Said when married was the honeymoon or like 10 years in? But I think it was continuing on the sleeping naked or something like that. I think that's what it was.
We were married for like less than a year, so it wasn't even like that long.
Yeah. All right, we got one more question. One more you guys can ask.
What about the ones that were written down?
Huh? Wait, I have a question. How would you handle infidelity in a relationship?
Are you asking everyone or like?
Oh, no, you.
Me. Oh, okay. So this is my thought. So when Kobe cheated, Vanessa got like a $4 million ring, right? So I would be okay if he knew that cheating was gonna get him punished financially, and I'm gonna win. So because if he cheats, that means I can cheat also. And I think I can get a better man than he can get a girl, you know, because usually men cheat down for their egos, because it's usually because they feel emasculated and they want to get like a, you know, a girl who's lower than them to feel more like a man. Usually when women cheat, they cheat up, right? So, you know, look at Lauren Sanchez. She fucking bagged a fucking potential trillionaire. So, and he just bought Lauren a house. So I feel like there's no point in building a man because he's just gonna leave you. Mackenzie built up Amazon for him, basically, like doing the accounting, investing. What the fuck did she get? Get fucking kicked to the curb. He laughed at her in court for asking for so little money. Now she's, I mean, you know what I mean? It's just like, it's not worth it. Just get a rich man.
Something where it's like the 4 richest women in the world all got their money either from divorces or being bequeathed by their fathers.
Yep.
Yeah. So what?
That means they earned it.
Like, what did she get out of it? She's fucking rich now. That's what she got out of it. She kind of built up Amazon and got fucking paid.
But who is she gonna be? I mean, it's so sad. You know, 20
there
years
are
with
more
a guy, 5
billionaires out
years,
there.
and he still kicks you to the certain curve. That's gonna fuck with you mentally.
Do you really discern after that? If you're a woman, this is a legitimate question, I guess. So all trolling aside, if you are a woman who is a billionaire, let's say you have $1 billion liquid, are you still going to look for a man who has more money than you, or would you settle for another billionaire or a multi-millionaire?
I wouldn't even get married. What's the point?
I mean, at that point, you can just marry for love.
Wow.
Why would you even get married? Why would you want to be with a guy you can't respect?
Wow.
So if you get billions of dollars out of a fucking divorce and then you go marry someone who has $100 million, you can't respect them?
How can you marry a man who, okay, how can you respect a man who makes less than you? That's my question.
Well, you didn't make fucking anything if you get all your money from a divorce, so.
But how can you respect a man who's just not able to reach a point where you are when you have hormones fucking bleeding out every month?
Okay, fuck all those hormones. You can't judge a man because he's not sucking dick. So, like, you can't.
Say the same thing.
What? Doesn't make sense.
What does that
It
mean?
makes perfect sense.
Yeah, what does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. So you're telling me right now, if a woman gets $1 billion, she's not a self-made billionaire, she got $1 billion through divorce or have it bequeathed to her because somebody passed away, she, who maybe never worked a job in her life, can't respect a man who's worth multiple millions of dollars just because he didn't hit
he's
billionaire
lower
status.
than her. He's lower than her on the totem pole.
Hypergamy.
Yep.
At that point, that's kind of just being incredibly shallow, and that's when you die alone.
Yeah, exactly.
So who cares? I die alone with my money rather than with a loser who can't even make money that I have. You guys rule the world and you guys can't make money. Oh my God.
You're never alone.
You
when
pass
you have
on your estate to your cat or what?
Yep.
If you want to shame girls like that, if it gets you pussy, Markel, great, do that, you know. But it's just,
no, I'm just saying, like, do you see how retarded you sound? Like,
no.
I mean,
name calling.
Yeah, I don't get calling. I've been called so many
She's a comedian.
names.
She could take it. She's the toughest one on this podcast. She could totally take it. So
I mean,
I'm just baffled. I'm incredibly baffled at this point. So a girl is bequeathed billions of dollars, but then won't date someone who's worth hundreds of millions.
Wouldn't her ancestor be like, don't be a stupid girl and marry a guy who makes less than you? Why would you do that? That would embarrass my ancestors. They would roll in their graves. It'd be like, stay single, girl. Why would you get with a loser who might just be with you for your money? It doesn't make sense to me. That's what doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
Shit. All right.
Yeah, a lot of girls say,
I'll take that at that. Maybe this is the unknown, the thing that I didn't know that I didn't know.
No, I think what it is she married for love at first, and then she got her heart broken, so now she just wants to marry for money, which makes sense. But at some point, she's going to get to a point where she's going to see that money can't really do much, but just buy her things that could, deteriorate, get lost, get stolen. Right. You can lose $1 billion just as fast as you can make it.
You can lose love too. Love is the fastest thing to go.
True.
That's the fastest thing to go. Once a woman gets old and ugly, guy's out. You know?
You can find love in a lot of places, but it's damn hard to find $1 billion.
Exactly. So go for the $1 billion. At least $1 million. I live in Orange County, so millionaires are not even that uncommon. It's like, if you don't have 100 million, the bankers don't even look at you. Like, they're like, back line, fuck you. You're only a millionaire? That's a loser.
Do you have any
what
stab
Orange
specials
County is.
on YouTube?
Huh?
I'm just curious. Like, are there recordings of your specials or no? Like, do you have any, like?
I'm on YouTube. I was on Kill Tony. I was on Laugh Factory. I was on all the things that mattered. So yeah, you guys.
Nice.
Oh.
That's tight. You on Laugh Factory?
Yeah, that's the
We
only
did
one that I know.
6 hours for that fucking 2 minutes, but whatever.
Keeping it 100, man. That's everyone. A lot of girls are like asking for your Instagram. All that.
Yeah.
Got a couple of girls.
I had to write that down. I want to see this later. That's wild. You know what? Now I'm kind of like, maybe my standards are too low. Like, why would I date a girl poorer than me at this point? Like, why?
Get a builder.
Yeah, we
get
have
a
smart
chick who's
girls like
ugly,
Leland,
who can make money,
right?
who can build you up, and then leave her when she's old and ugly. That's
exactly. Yeah, Leland set the precedent. Leland's like, why would you date someone more broke than you? And it's like, Leland's incredibly smart. She would never date a guy more broke than her, ever. But there are tons of rich girls out there who will. So for all my men, all my kings, listen to this. Get you a rich chick. Stop dating broke girls.
Yeah, if you can, go ahead.
Accord. She's driving that 2004 Honda Accord with a dent in the door.
You can.
Let her go.
Yeah.
Let her go.
Get a rich girl if you can. Why not?
You're in Orange County. You have any friends? How old are you? How old are your friends?
I'm like 80 years old. It's a plastic surgery. It's pretty good.
That's that beige tone. What it is.
You'll figure it out. You're a smart guy. Figure out who my friends are. Yeah, I mean, if you want to date a rich girl, go ahead. If she's willing to look at you, amazing. That's hats off to you.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I'm encouraging you. If you can get a rich girl, do it.
No, I'd say the equivalent to getting a billionaire guy would be a gorgeous woman who never ages, so her pussy is always tight. She'll never give you kids, and she'll always make you feel like a great man, which is impossible. So, good luck.
Good luck. Yeah. I don't know. Like, honestly, I'm incredibly inspired by Leland's account of what to do. So I'm like, you know what? Maybe I should stop looking at women with collegiate degrees, and I start looking at women who are in line to receive multi-million-dollar bequeathments from their parents. Their inheritance.
Yeah, do it.
$1 million inheritance. I should really start doing that. And I'm pretty sure it's all public record, too. I'm pretty sure I can just find that out. I'll go to like county registrar or something like that.
Yeah, go ahead. That's strategic, dude. That's strategy. Your life is going to be better after this if you do that. I swear to God.
Someone said it's different for men. We got someone comment and said it's different for men, though.
Yep.
I don't know. If you got game, it's not that different.
But would you be an alpha if you're willing to be in a relationship with a woman who makes more money than you?
Alpha doesn't care about money.
Yeah. You're an alpha if you don't care.
We've said on this podcast that, like, that's the exchange, right?
Uh-oh. Leland, what you got?
What's the exchange?
That, like, men provide, they're providers, and they have to put more status. And women provide feminine energy. That's the exchange.
Right.
Yes.
Betas provide.
So why would a man, like, reverse that? Why would he accept, like...
Well,
he's a beta dude. He wants to be a woman. That's a feminine energy.
Well, let's say you're a guy who, let's say you have a high income skill, or you're currently working on your real estate portfolio, or whatever reason, right? Like, again, like, let's say you're marrying somebody whose parents, they passed away and they received a whole bunch of money. That has nothing to do with level of masculinity you currently possess, or could potentially reach at some point. If she thinks you're man enough, and that's about it. The most alpha thing you can do is not care about somebody else's opinion. That's the most alpha thing you can do, is not care about somebody else's opinion. If you can take care of all your bills and reasonably take care of her bills, and you're still working towards something else, sure. Totally. Like, why not? As somebody who has legitimately dated women 2 or 3 times above my tax bracket, I can tell you, it matters to an extent.
What do you guys think?
What do you guys think?
No comment.
Right. Well.
Are people here? Did people drop off?
Nah, we still got people in here. A lot of people still.
Oh, okay. I mean, it doesn't. You don't have to. Just because you have a penis doesn't mean you're a man. Sometimes you want to be a woman. You want to lay back and mooch off of her. So who am I to judge? You know,
so
gay guys flip on.
Aside from finances, what makes a man a man?
What do you think separates a boy from a grown person?
No, I asked you first.
God, that's so annoying. Okay.
Well, she answered with a question, so answer her question.
No, you don't answer questions. So I asked her, aside from finances, you know how she feels about that, what makes a man a man?
A man protects and provides, and he accepts responsibility, and he has a mission in life to carry forward. And the thing is, as a woman, because I don't know how to be a man because I'm a woman, right? And I didn't think I would have to explain what being a man is to a man, but okay, here we go. A lot of things happen in this life.
Yeah, because Markel doesn't know.
Obviously, I don't know. Obviously.
Okay, but I'll try my best to explain because I've never had to do this. All right. Okay, as a woman, when we are like 12 or 13, we start bleeding, and that's when we become a woman. I mean, it's just kind of decided by nature.
You're a woman if you bleed. You have all these other things to do if you want to be a man.
For a man, it's like you guys get to decide on your own. Like maybe it means you make $100,000. Maybe for other people, it's like you can hold down a job. For another person, it's like you start build a company. So it depends on the guy, right? It depends on his culture. It depends on his upbringing. But just having a penis doesn't mean that you're a dude. Like, I mean, you're a man, you know, because it's like a little boy can have a penis and he can do whatever, but he's not really a man. But to me, it has to do with being a provider, being a protector, being responsible, and having a mission in life, and not having to just being able to just stand on his own without having a mother. Like,
I actually 100% agree with that definition. 1,000% agree with that.
Wow, that's powerful.
That's a great definition. So if a man can do all that, and he has some wherewithal in the financial department, like what else does he need at that point?
So not to interrupt,
he has a couple million in the bank. Why does he need $1 billion? If he can take care of everything.
Why wouldn't he get a bill? So you guys don't want to settle for an ugly old hag without teeth who's not 5,000 pounds, but you want to do the bare minimum in terms of the finances? Like that's.
Do you know the difference between $1 million and $1 billion? Do you know what the financial difference is? I mean, I'm sorry. You're in Orange County.
You can nag me all you want, Markel. You can nag me and, you know, insult me and insinuate that I'm stupid, all that you want. You have the free will to do so. But everyone watching knows who you aren't and who you are. And, you know, there's no amount of convincing that can convince me to be with a low-level dude. It's just no thank you.
Which I would never ask to be a low-level dude. What I'm questioning is the difference between, and this goes back to my original question, the guy who has hundreds of millions versus the guy who has billions. I think if you see a major difference in between that, I think that's flawed, personally, right? Like if you are a woman and you're a billionaire, but you wouldn't date a guy who has hundreds of millions, I totally understand being a billionaire woman and not wanting to date a guy who's making $50,000 a year. I could totally get that. I could totally get not wanting to date a guy who only has 4 or 5 million. I am just a little bit confused on the hundreds of millions. And maybe my whole question actually more to do with money. Like what is the biggest difference between hundreds of millions and billions? Maybe that's my actual problem here. Nothing to do with women or men and the whole dating aspect. I just think that's incredibly weird.
Well, lots of things are weird in this world, Markel. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Like,
well, Markel is digging
because
he's not getting the answer that he wants. So he keeps talking in a circle. But can we?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, he just wants to be right. All right, Markel,
he wants to be right so badly.
You're right.
So he keeps making up all these scenarios and stuff just to get his answer, but he's not going to get it from her.
It's the original scenario. I haven't made anything new up. It's the original question I asked earlier.
Yeah, you're right. All right.
Next question, please.
All right, I'll go with the next question.
Where you at, Dante? I mean, what are you doing, man? You just circling around. You're not even mediating. Come on, bro.
Whoa, I'm mediating.
No, we're good. We're adults, you know. We're having fun.
Don't call me sideways, man. No, I'm just kidding. No, okay, all right. So now we talking about alphas, and I actually, and Shirley, you did say buzzword too. You did say one. Yeah. You said almost.
She said powerful.
All right. We'll let that slide. Okay, it's not the same.
Gotta be the right word.
All right, fine. We'll let it slide.
Semantics.
All right. So we talked about alphas and betas. How do alphas view sex?
I guess to steal the phrase from Lee Lin, isn't it obvious how alphas view sex? They view sex as something as they want, and they just take it when they want it.
Basically.
So like a rapist?
As soon as I said it, too, I was like, someone's going to say the R word. No, not like a rapist. But they don't always consider the consequences and repercussions. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Right?
Yeah. I mean, what do the ladies think? Since we got some alpha women.
An alpha makes a woman want to have sex with him. That's what an alpha does.
Ooh.
Dang. Okay, well, y'all agree? I mean, y'all agree?
What'd she say?
Her laugh. I love it. She said an alpha makes a woman want to have sex. Like he and his masculinity, his power. Yes. That's what inspires her to like lay down with him. I love that.
For that.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it possible to have sex without getting emotionally attached? If so, why? How?
Not for a woman.
No, I think women can have sex and not feel emotionally attached.
I don't think so. I doubt.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you're out here just fucking for billions, I think they totally can. I think if you're, I mean, I'm not saying that to like nag or like throw a joke, but it's serious. Like if you're a woman and you're a whole
close your eyes and just take a nap. You know, is it over? All right.
Yeah, just like pretend he's like John Stamos or something. Just don't even worry about
it. Someone said, "Where is this dude from?" Someone asked for your IG. I don't know if you have IG. I don't know if you have IG, Leland? You do, right?
Me?
No, Leland. You have IG, right?
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll drop it. Someone asked to drop it on there on the comments.
I'll drop it. All right.
You I'll just put it on the Facebook and I'll just copy it. She said, as a woman, no. Women absolutely can. All right.
Yeah, they absolutely can. I believe that.
Look at this pussy chat.
Oh, it's so random. All right. So a lot of questions on here. Let's see. I guess, where do you fall on a spectrum? Is sex transactional or more spiritual? Lance, who put that on there? No one? Quiet? Crickets? No one?
It can be a both. I mean, why not
50-50,
both?
yeah. It's like 50-50, man. Depends on the person.
That's the question. It's asking, what are you?
Oh, wow. Yeah. That's hilarious. I don't see it transactional. I'm not that shallow.
Transactional, yeah.
Like, how could you?
I used to not see it transactional, but I think I've been convinced.
What was that?
How could you enjoy it if it's just transactional?
Why do you need to enjoy it?
Because we're humans, and that's something that humans do is they enjoy sex.
But you don't.
I
understand what you mean. Yeah, I understand what you mean. But for me, it's just like, if you're gonna do it, why don't you just get something out of it instead of like liking it and then this guy kind of sucks and he can't do anything for you. You know what I mean? Like, I get it, but it's like, then he doesn't have to give you anything. He's like, oh, she's just satisfied sexually. I don't have to pay her bills. I don't have to marry her. I don't have to, you know, like buy her gifts to make her happy. So to me,
what if I could pay my own bills and I don't need any gifts?
But working sucks.
Well, not if you love your job.
Yeah, but to me, it's just like, then what's the point of even being with a man if he can't even pay your bills? Like, how can you submit to that? Like, in terms of like getting turned on and stuff, like, how can you get turned on with a guy who, if you have sex with him, your life is going to be worse because he can't afford your kids and you're going to have to work doubly hard, and you can't go out and have fun and get with a guy who can take care of you, but you're stuck with this dusty dude who can't really do shit. That's my thought, because I was the higher earning breadwinner as the first wife, and it was just not fun. Like, and I don't want to do it again. It's not worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel it.
All right. Well, someone said, define what you mean by transaction. What I mean by transaction. What's your definition of transactional in sex?
I have sex with you, we go on vacation, or you provide something for me that I need.
I think your camera's off.
Yeah, it's my computer's charging. Sorry.
Oh, okay. So, all right. Well, is there always a transaction? Someone asked if is there always a transaction though?
If it's transactional sex, then yes.
Potential immortality to him, because pussy is the closest thing to immortality if you think about it, and he's not going to pay anything for that. That seems kind of one-sided to me.
Man, what's happening?
I gotta ask, how is pussy close to immortality?
What's going on?
You elaborate on that, please?
It's true, though.
I forgot. There's more to. I forgot that. So it's like a transfer of energy, like you said. I guess it would be intensity of emotional attachment. So it was just a couple of questions. I guess it was leading on to the energy part. Man, whew.
I want to know how like pussy is close to like the closest thing you'll ever get to God through.
Because you can have kids, right? Because you're gonna just die and then nothing, or you're gonna have kids, right? So it's like immortality, right?
Yeah, that makes sense. Like a legacy.
Yes.
Yeah. Like you're passing on your genes, your DNA.
Yeah.
So in a way, that's immortality.
Yes.
Beautiful.
You guys are just laughing.
It's just like, you ever hear somebody say something, you just completely disagree, but you just love the way they say it. You're just like, that doesn't make any sense, but I'm glad she's saying it like this. Like, you know what I mean?
A lot of sense.
Like, there's no soft way to say it, so she just comes out and says it, and I fucking love it. But I also don't agree with anything she said. So
I don't agree with that. That's
just like
That's
weird.
fine. I mean, you guys can make your point too. It's not a one-sided.
And honestly, like everything you're saying, you're making my point for me, so I can just stay quiet this time.
Okay. You can be right. Markel is always right. All right, you're good.
She just mentioned it, hey, Shari.
I don't give a fuck.
Oh well, I know we got like a couple more minutes left. If anybody wants to add it to it, there's a lot of comments on here.
Any more questions?
Exchange there's a couple debates in here on the comments, so I kind of had to mediate that at the same time. Also mediate the Facebook.
So this kind of reminds me of
busy man.
As far as transactional sex goes, I was watching I guess it was a clip from the Joe Rogan podcast, and they were discussing the morality or the ethicalness of like sugar babies and like sugar daddies and stuff. And they were actually explaining how transactional relationships work, right? How these girls will only occasionally get it up, but these guys are like affording their entire lifestyles, right? They're buying apartments, cars, paying their tuitions and stuff like that. And I kind of want to say, like, I kind of get it. Like, it kind of makes sense. If you're like if you're an old ass dude, if you're like your 50s or 60s, why the fuck are you gonna get married at that point?
Right.
Why are you gonna get married? Like, that woman wasn't with you when you were broke. That woman wasn't with you when your first business failed. She wasn't with you with your parents. Like, at that point, it's like, is there really enough time to build that kind of bond to actually get married to somebody? Might as well just get 3 or 4 girlfriends from the quarter of your age. Just call it a day. Yeah, it costs more money, but at least you get to walk around with young hot chicks. So in a way, I kind of get it, right? And as someone who understands hypergamy, whether I like it or don't, I also kind of get that too. And now I feel like I am being like swayed to think more about my choice of women. Like, hey, maybe I should just go for like, should I be transactional as a man? What does it look like being transactional? Like, not from like I pay you, right? Like, it's like incognito prostitution. But it's like, as a man now, I'm like, what do I want, right? Because it's like, yeah, you make kids, but you're kind of like the oven, and I'm giving you the ingredients for the dough. So it's like, it's our kid too. And if I'm the guy with all the money, I could definitely afford a lawyer to see my kid. So it's like, what am I getting out of that at that point too? You know? So now I just have to like sit and think about transactional sex for the next few days.
Well, you can become a sugar baby and go for like cougars, man. You know.
So, honestly, all I would have to do is shave my beard. I probably could do it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You know, that like there's a lot of rich older women out there who want young men. You know, that got that stamina. So, you know, they'll buy you a car. You know, hit them up every couple of weeks.
I'm 23 now. I'm 23, right? If I shave my beard and everything, I could totally pass for 17. So I'm just like, maybe I should. Maybe I should.
All right,
at least experience it, you know what I'm saying?
You can find some cradle robbers. Let's do it.
Yeah. So it's coming to an end. I think this is about to end on my live stream on Instagram.
Right.
But anything you guys want to add on here?
I just want to say thank you for Leland for coming on.
Please be on more.
Thank you, Dante. I hope I didn't destroy everything. I'm so sorry, but thank you so much.
No, this was fantastic.
No, you're
This was the best
great.
thing to happen all day.
Amazing.
You got a lot of women who are trying to ask you for your IG handle. So
Can you just drop that real quick? You just give us your IG handle real quick.
She put it on the comments.
Yeah, I put it on the comments.
Yeah. So and I also put on the comments on here. So I appreciate y'all for coming on, man. I appreciate everybody.
Thank you.
Comments. I don't think anyone else has anything to say. Okay, woman, rich guys now. Yep. Sugar babies. Didn't George Clooney marry after 50? Yeah, he did. He definitely did. But all right. I appreciate you coming on, though, Leland. It was good. Hopefully you come on in the future. I know you
please do.
Yeah, we I guess you got a lot of people who are loving it.
I'm scared now. I'm like kind of fearing for my life.
But this is good for you, because if this ever blows up, you know, like you could totally use this as like to get some viewership for all your comedy material.
Yeah, that's true.
See? Boom. All right. Well, that's it for me, guys. I don't have anything else to say. Everyone said they love you. But yeah, it's gonna end soon. So, but yeah, it's ended. But so yeah, that's it. I'm done.
That was amazing.
Look how much work I did today.
Yes, you did it. That was a successful episode. I really valued your perspective.
Yeah.
Thank you coming on last minute.
Yeah, it was good. So I know you're tired and sleeping like that. So we'll.
It was great. Thank you.
All right. All right. I'm gonna stop recording this. So I appreciate you guys coming on and tune into the next episode, guys.
All right, y'all. Take care. Peace.
Oh, I didn't see you there. Hey, this is going on. This is Dante from the Y Day Podcast, the host, and hope you guys like our content on the last episode. And just letting you guys know that we are going to be posting everything on our website, www.ydaypodcast.com. And for all the information, you can go on here. I know if you guys already looked on the video, it's on YouTube. YouTube episodes are on here. Everything on SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple, Google Play, all that is on there. Now, another thing we also are giving out for a lot of listeners who's been listening for a while, we actually have a Patreon. So a Patreon account, if you donate, it's a $5 tier of $5 a month. Well, we're going to be giving you some exclusive content, which is going to have 30 to 45 minute Q&A before the episode. So if we typically have a guest speakers on there. We have some love coaches on there, like we had in our last episode. We have a love coach, relationship gurus, motivational speakers. So you got the Q&A time within 30 to 45 minutes to talk to them before we do our episode. Or if you want to talk to any of us, some of the speakers on there, the co-hosts and things like that, we also open that up for anyone out there. Also, we're going to be having an exclusive giving out the prior episode. So we're going to have the episode and you're going to have the first leak of the episode before we even put it on to everybody else to see. So that's all we have. It's just $5. It's a very small number. I know most people are, got other investments, whereas Netflix, I'm not competing with Netflix or Disney Plus, but it's something that we're giving out for you guys here. If you want to tune in there, that's also on the website. I'll put the link right down here. So it's www.ydaypodcast.com. And now I'm going to get back to my work. So if you guys want to kindly just, scatter